Potatoes, tons of shallots, and enough dairy to put you in the hospital. It's Potatoes Romanoff. Hey now, today I am going to be making probably my favorite potatoes. These are certainly the favorite potatoes of my eldest daughter, and one day, when she moves out, she will be able to perhaps check out this video and make them on her own. Not me making them for her. So let me show you exactly how we do this. I'm starting off here with some potatoes. These are just russet potatoes. Last night I took them, poked them with the fork, baked them at 400 degrees for an hour or so, just until I was able to sink a knife or a fork in there with ease. I then took them, wrapped them, threw them in the fridge overnight, so they're nice and cooled down. Here we go. Now the trick, and the reason that we want them cool, is that I am, as you can see, grating them. I'm just taking the potato using the large holes on a box grater here and grating away. When you're doing this, the skin pretty much is all that winds up remaining. I'm just setting that aside. A couple little chunks have fallen off, but again, just with some careful manipulation here, we're able to do that. If you wind up with a little bit of the skins left in here, that's certainly not a big deal. I really like potato skins. The other thing I'm doing is I'm saving these little potato skins. These are something that you could kind of deep fry or fry up if you want, but I'm going to be giving them to my chickens because they love potato skins. I'm just going to go ahead and grate up the rest of these. This is 5 pounds of potatoes that I've got here. This is a really flexible recipe insofar as how much of the other ingredients you wind up adding. You can start off with however much you want. I'm feeding a bunch of people, so 5 pounds feels like the right amount of potatoes for this. Now that all my potatoes are grated, I'm getting onto the shallots here. So I'm just going to cut off the ends, any bits of the skin that's still kind of on there, like this, and then just get them into the food processor. Now, is that a lot of shallots? Yeah, this is about 14 ounces of shallots, but they are the secret weapon in this recipe. So, because it's a lot of them, a person you could go and mince them by hand, but the food processor is just way quicker. And there we go. Gorgeous. I'm getting ready to weep in here because of the stinging of my eyes. A person could maybe try to do this with some other kind of onion or leek or something like that, but if you do that, don't complain to me if it's underwhelming. Got the shallots in the potatoes, and since I've got the food processor dirty anyway, I'm going to do my cheddar in here. So this is just old white cheddar, nice and flavorful. So just by going and pulsing it like that, I have the cheese all kind of nicely busted up here. It doesn't have to be super fine. A person, again, could go ahead and grate it, but that just takes a lot longer. I've just done round 2 of this old white cheddar. This was a full kilogram or 2.2 pounds of white cheddar. I told you it was a lot of dairy, and we're not done yet. So we've got the potatoes, we've got the shallots, we have all that white cheddar. Now it's time to get a little salt. I'm going with a 1/4 cup of kosher salt in here. Just going to sprinkle it around. And pepper. I'm going to be using white pepper. I like the flavor that it adds to this. I'm going with a full tablespoon, sprinkling it around. Let's see if I can sneeze. Now, I want to go ahead and mix it. I've just got some gloves on here so I become less of a gloomy mess when I'm done. And I'm just going to mix it like so until it's all fairly incorporated together. Now before I'm done completely mixing that up, I've just got a nice little mitt full of chives here. I did weigh this, is about 3/4 of an ounce. I'm just going to chop them up and they're going in as well. Look at that, there we go. All nicely chopped up. I'm adding these in. The chives are really optional in this recipe. I'm just doing it right now because it's summertime and we've got them in the greenhouse and they added some nice fun color. Here we are with our chives mixed in. Now, something that is not optional but absolutely mandatory. Woo! Sour cream. This is 14% milk fat sour cream going in. This is a 1 liter container or just over a quart. However, this isn't all the sour cream that I'm going to put in. I told you, enough dairy to put you in the hospital? Let's do it. I have a second container here. I'm shooting for around 5 cups total. It's going to be just under half of that. Okay, and now this, you don't have to go and mix it supremely well. I'm just kind of folding it in or mixing it in a little bit here. As you can see, I'm not looking to actually super mix it so it's like a paste or something like that. You do want to have like nice chunks of the potatoes and the cheese and everything in there still. So just barely combined like that. Now we're ready to get this into a container. I like to use my little Russet here, or some sort of similarly thick-walled, heavy-duty baking dish. And I'm just spooning large chunks of it into here. I'm not smooshing it down or anything like that. Yes, smooshing is a technical term when you're cooking potatoes like this, but it's not what we're after. All right, I'm going to need a second container for this. So I've got a second little mini Le Creuset. Isn't that gorgeous? And I'm going to top it up as well. So now that I have as much potatoes in here as I want, I'm just going to poke it a little bit, just sort of tapping it down a little bit here. But the point is that there are just some very small air pockets here still in the potatoes. So this can be baked right away if you've preheated your oven. I'm actually not going to be baking these until tomorrow, so I'm going to cover it up and just get it in the refrigerator. Okay, my oven is preheated to 400 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and bake, but before I do, I've got some wild garlic flaked salt. I'm just going to sprinkle a bit of that over the top here, just for a little added extra flavor. In the oven we go. After around an hour, possibly a little bit more, it just depends on the size of the pan and how deep your potatoes are. They are piping hot. What we're looking for here is this nice browning up on top. I'm gonna let these cool just ever so slightly, and then we can give them a taste. So as always, when we're having a big meal, I'm hiding in the basement to actually test my food in some relative peace and quiet. This is an insane meal. We got a bunch of brisket, some delicious Caesar salad, homemade pickles, and of course, these potatoes Romanoff. So let's dig in. Potatoes au gratin can just disappear. This is the way to eat potatoes. You got the super tanginess of those shallots. You got all of that richness from the aged white cheddar, from the sour cream, the potatoes themselves, obviously starchy deliciousness. And then that amazing little flaked salt on the top. So incredibly good. If you haven't tried this, do it, and you will absolutely not regret it. I mean, I don't think I would be eating it every day, but special occasions, 100%. So make them, and until next time, keep it at 11.